Welcome back to Overhead Athletics. Today I'm joined by Alex Kirschman here, and we're actually going to be going through and analyzing his throwing mechanics and working on his front leg bracing a little better in the throw and sequencing his deceleration pattern a little better. And I looked at his throw here about 5 minutes ago, and what we saw was that he would throw and his chest would stop moving forward as he was accelerating the ball and then moving into deceleration. So it looked great in the beginning of the throw. He got to a point in the middle of his acceleration phase where his chest stopped going forward, his knees started flexing, and he had a huge internal rotation moment at the shoulder when he was slowing his arm down. So the EMG profile of the rotator cuff is totally different here compared to here. So depending on the position your body's in and how you move your body, the muscles act differently. And he had a little bit of potentially rotator cuff tendonitis, a little bit of impingement syndrome in the shoulder. And he admittedly said, I couldn't even lift anything up. I could barely lift my arm after doing some long toss and some bullpens. And Alex is an athlete we worked with maybe 3 years ago.
2 or 3. Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago. And he had some shoulder problems then, a little bit of elbow discomfort at that time. And what we'll see is that he's actually retained a significant amount, because rarely do we see athletes that continue to work on some of the things we give them for 3 years after we see them, and Alex actually did. So that's a testament to his hard work and dedication. But when we look at any athlete's throw, there's always little things we can fine tune. So I'm just going to have you go through your mechanics, just throwing the ball like you did when you came in, and we're just going to watch it really quick. What you'll see if you slowed that video down is that he tends to go forward and stop his chest, and the front knee begins to flex. So I want everybody at home to watch his front knee as he begins to go. And we actually worked on his throw for about 5 minutes before we started this video. So you can see his front knee continues to flex and then at the very end extends. One more time. Now if you watch his chest, it appears that he is going and then stops and then comes through the rest of his follow through, and it's not as efficient as what we'd want to see. And right now, I would say it's even a little better than maybe 5 minutes ago, because we've had him work on this first throw in the progression. So here's really the progression of what we're going to have athletes do. We're going to have him go. This is the throw I've had him for a few minutes here, facing the target, balls over his shoulder. He's going to take a big step, get his chest forward, and throw. He's still letting his arm go through the mechanical sequence that we want to happen, but now he's getting his chest into it a little bit more. So now what we see is that already he's starting to get his chest forward in the throw and get over his front leg. Now I want you to keep an eye on his front leg, and you're going to see it brace up better. So he's pulling from the top down and pulling through. And he has adequate hamstring length. Now I want you to really brace that front leg hard. And a lot of times I don't give athletes that instruction to brace that front leg. At times, however, I do. That's what I want to see. So that's the drill right there. Now he's going to go into the next position, where what we're going to do is we're going to take him from here sideways. I'm having him stand tall instead of rotating to his hip, because he actually loads his hip really well. So I'm going to have you stand tall. Okay. Ball's in the same position. I want you to get your chest forward and come through the throw. Good. Now land firm on your front leg. So it's not always about telling these guys to extend their knee. Sometimes it's just land solid, land firm on your front leg. The front leg alters the direction of kinetic energy. So it's a bracing force. It's a rigid end stop. It hits here, and it doesn't create more kinetic energy. It just redirects the kinetic energy throughout the kinetic chain. More. So I want you to land a little bit straighter on your front leg. So it's not about pushing your knee straight, but I want you to land with your knee in a more extended position. So when you land, that's about how much, like, think there. So there's a little bend, but there's not a lot. And if you notice, I mean, the fortunate thing here is I haven't worked with Alex in 3 years, and if you watch his arm action, it's actually pretty darn good. So it's nice when you don't have to work on everything. Better. Now don't try to straighten it so hard.
All right.
The other thing we might do with an athlete like this is we might flip the mound backwards and have him throw uphill. And that's something he's probably going to work on his own. I'm probably not going to have him do it today, but that's another tool when we're doing this progression. Better. Okay, so now here's the progression here. So now you've done a step, you've done it sideways. Now your thing is you're going to start on the back part of the mound here. You're going to take a step into it and go. And now I want you to try to cover distance out towards the target.
All right, and then left foot forward?
Yeah, so you're going to step first with the right and then get forward.
Okay.
So now we're just incorporating momentum. So now he's got more energy going into the front leg. You can see that front leg sequencing is already a lot better there. So that's what I want to see.
Okay.
So momentum is his friend here. Now he's got to go sideways. Sideways is the hop. So you can go here. Hop over the rubber.
Okay.
Hop over the rubber and then go. So a little momentum forward. It's going to force him to load the back leg. Get over top of the rubber. Added momentum, added energy, all of a sudden is fixing his problem. And it's partially because when you have momentum, you have more time pressure. You have less time to complete the task, but you also have more energy going into that leg, which requires that the leg stabilizes harder. Keep in mind, all of this follows a progression that gets his arm in the right position. So if he came in and he had a low elbow or he dragged his arm, that'd be the first thing I worked on. For Alex, because he's coming back with pretty good sequencing of his arm action, we could start to implement this stuff right away, and I don't have to see him 25 times. He can go out and work on this stuff and make corrections and improve his throw over the course of time. As long as he's keeping his shoulder strong and he's keeping his shoulder mobile, this stuff's going to do some huge, or have some huge benefits for him. Okay, so now you've kind of gone from here. Now you got to do the same thing from the glove.
All right. Hop with the glove then?
Yep.
All right. And then this last ball.
All right. Good. So we're going to watch him do that hop again. Watch how he gets his chest forward. We haven't even given him many instructions at all. As long as he just does the task, we see that he does it a lot better. So now let's go full pitch. And this is something he's going to work on over the course of a week here, maybe 2. And then from there, he's going to continue to do it in his warm-up throws. Okay, go full pitch on the mound here. So now we give him 2 reps here, and then we'll go back through the progression again, and then we'll start to randomize the progression. And in his warm-ups, he's going to do this exact progression, but he's going to randomize the order. So he might do one from the first one, then he might go into the hop, then he might do a full pitch, and then do the other hop laterally. So he's going to mix it up. That's going to be one of the keys to motor learning. So it's not always a total revamp of an athlete's throw. A lot of times athletes are going to come to us with good throwing mechanics, and we're just trying to optimize 1 or 2 things, especially as a high school senior who's trying to finish out his high school career and summer ball with a lot of success and be able to stay on the field, avoiding that excessive deceleration moment at the end of the throw. So we're wishing Alex luck here. Make sure to subscribe. Hit the like button. We'll see you guys in the next video. If you guys like this type of video, we'll continue to do more throwing mechanics videos.